I read recently that American companies spend almost $14 billion annually on leadership development training. There are literally thousands and thousands of books on leadership and several executive programs at some of the most respected universities in the world. There's a lot of energy and a lot of resources being spent on these programs. This is a great thing. We need skillful leaders. Unfortunately, a lot of times the leadership program comes to an end and no new behaviors are implemented. We have a fire service instructor textbook that we use for our programs, and it states that those who receive information through lecture forget nearly 50% of what they learn within 2 weeks. So you can bring in a sharpshooter to deliver a pump up the troops type program, and that may be briefly engaging, but it may not produce the desired change that one's after. It's more effective to focus on specific leadership skills that are pertinent to the vision and the growth of the organization. Course content that's relevant to your own experience and knowledge is more likely to be retained. Leadership programs need to integrate with the larger scope of the organization. That's exactly what the LSI program is working to do. We've all seen a long list of leadership standards, dozens of spelled out competencies, and organization value statements. Each one's usually summarized in a seemingly easy to remember, catchy little mnemonic. Often what folks see though is an alphabet soup of recommendations with new ways to promote change. And a week after the program, they can't remember what the acronyms or the mnemonics mean. Adult learners are more likely to retain material delivered in bite-sized pieces and then given an opportunity to implement these new skills through coaching and or mentoring. We also need to support our leaders when they fail. Failure presents one of our best opportunities to learn. The completion of our LSI training program shouldn't be viewed as the end of the leadership development process. It should be viewed as the beginning. It's critical that after the program is complete, there remains an effort to maintain the momentum. The program has already established a learning cohort that meets regularly and discusses concepts. I'm hopeful that we can keep this going and keep the graduates participating. I've learned so much more about the function and the true capacity of the Department of Public Safety literally in the first 3 days of the very first LSI program than I have in my entire 9-year career with the Department of Public Safety. I applaud all the organizers of the CDPS LSI program, and I thank you all for letting me participate.
Hello LSI friends, welcome to Oregon. We're currently working the Whitewater Fire outside of Sisters, Oregon. Fire is currently about 6,500 acres. That's the main fire over there, located just outside the Jefferson Wilderness. It's Mount Jefferson. What we have going on over here is a lightning strike that took off a couple days ago. We're calling it the Little Devil Fire. Currently working it with 2 helicopters, way too steep to get folks in on. So we gotta make this quick because I'm directing helicopter traffic. We were planning to do video interviews as a division. Now the problem with that is I'm about 1,000 miles away from home with no cell service and nobody sent me interview questions. So I took the liberty of writing down a list of questions I think Kaylee might have asked me. And quite frankly, they're incredibly boring. We're gonna skim through them. What did I expect? Did it meet my expectation? LSI experience, phenomenal. Was it the LSI itself though? I kind of think that it wasn't. The classes and presentations were good, they were well done. Emergenetics was fantastic. It was really cool to see why I interact well with other people. Beyond that though, I feel like the best part of it was the group of people itself, not necessarily the things that we did together. It was learning about one another and one another's organizations, learning about our experience. I think the best experience took place between presentations and after classes. I really encourage you to keep that up in the future. I can't say enough good things about those interactions. You know, the very first day we're all sitting around a table and there's cue cards on a table to get us talking. And when we're eating dinner in Loveland, you know, it's awkward at first. It's just because we don't know how to deal with strangers. And then we start chatting with one another and we realize we have a lot in common. Not only do we want to, you know, make the state a better, safer place, but we really want to impact the people's lives around us. And that was an important sentiment to take away from. You know, we're all a lot of like-minded people that just want to help one another out. You know, I don't do this job to protect the people of Colorado or Oregon or wherever I'm at. I do it because of the people that I work with, because they rely on me in a sense, and we have a brotherhood, so to speak. And to see that extended within other divisions, that's important. That brings a sense of camaraderie, not just to the Montrose engine, but to the whole CDPS as an organization. I'd like to see us do that more in the future. So keep those things up. You know, I don't want to say make them mandatory, but it's really beneficial when you have people go out after class, get to know one another. I skipped all Kaylee's questions because I don't rightly know what she'd ask me anyway. I think she'd probably want this from me for it. I think the funniest takeaway I have is going out the very last night in Breckenridge, maybe buying a few tequila shots for folks, and Trooper Dan had said he'd never done a shot of tequila before. So we made Trooper Dan do a shot of tequila with us, playing trivia, laughing. After his first shot, he said, "Oh, that wasn't too terribly bad." And I accidentally ordered 2 extras, so he and I did a bonus shot. Getting to know people on that level, laughing, getting to have fun with them, meeting their families. You maybe in the future have a day that folks can bring their families on down. I think that's an integral part of what we do. And with that, I really ought to get back to work. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys out there. And if I don't, you know where I'm at. I'm right here still. Take care, guys.
So a few years ago, I had the pleasure of doing a program very similar to this. And we did it was really more focused on leadership, straight up leadership. It was people from all different departments and everything. And what I loved about this one is not only did we focus on leadership, but we focused on how all of our divisions work together, exciting things that we do, and how we can develop a base of understanding across the department that helps us do our jobs better. Because we have a lot of amazing people in this department doing amazing stuff. And up until this, I really didn't know much about any of it. So that, to me, was one of the greatest things. And then it gave me an opportunity to really revisit some of those leadership topics that I enjoyed from previous leadership training, to expand on some of the issues that affect our department or our division specifically, and how I can play a role in helping that move forward. So it was great.
The best part for me about participating in LSI was the opportunity to network with not only folks from my own division, but those from the other divisions within CDPS. I got to learn that we have the same challenges, and we got to identify unique opportunities to solve problems as a group. With its focus on employee engagement, this next LSI cohort has the unique opportunity to identify the best paths forward and to put the time into making sure that they are implemented within DFPC. They can also share what works for us with the other divisions, and we can make sure employee engagement goes up throughout the Department of Public Safety. I'm grateful to work for the Department of Public Safety because they see the value in providing opportunities like LSI, not only for individual growth, but for growing the agency as a whole. I can't wait to see how we make CDPS the best place in the state to work.
Probably the biggest thing that LSI did was made me aware that there were silos within the department. I always just came to work, did my job, and knew about the other stuff, but never really even thought about it. But actually, by making me aware of the silos, it actually opened up windows so that I could see into those silos and see what other departments have a good, at least not a good idea, but at least an idea of what they are doing. And that awareness, I think, has really made me feel more part of the public safety team of the state of Colorado.
For me, one of the greatest things to come out of LSI was the opportunity to meet people from different divisions in CDPS. These are people that I had no idea existed, and I now get to call them my friends. And in my opinion, my friends are champions. They're champions for dreaming big dreams for the next generation of CDPS employees. And most importantly, they're champions in serving and protecting the people of Colorado. So my job allows me to travel around the state and sometimes the country, and I get to work with people from local, other state agencies, and some federal agencies. And I can honestly say that CDPS has some of the brightest, most passionate public servants out there. And I'm so grateful that I get to call them my colleagues. I want to thank the EDO for creating this institute and for this opportunity to meet all of you.
Nearing the end of a program, it's always good practice to reflect upon all that has been accomplished, evaluate what can be done better in the future, and it seems particularly appropriate to reflect on starting with the end in mind. The concept sounds simple, but many struggle with it in practice. DFPC's LSI team executed this approach from the beginning. The team established a plan and created a set of goals during their first cohort meeting. They then worked backward from each goal to determine all of the events that must happen to achieve it, from the development of a communication plan to assisting me in the development of a job description for the Chief of Staff. The LSI group took advantage of this great opportunity and successfully completed their mission. Thanks to the EDO for this opportunity to come together in support of the CDPS mission.
Recording now?
We are recording.
Taylor Swift, shake it off, ooh, ooh. We are? So it's not a photo, we're actually recording. Oh, hello world.
Secret wishes.
Ooh, actually, real quick.
I can't see what you're looking at, so
Can you see the words?
I can't now.
Are you gonna read?
No.
Secret wishes.
Let me watch it and see.
Question again there. No, I need it like.
Secret wish.